look, there is this saying, you're probably very familiar with it. It's like you do all the work, don't worry about the results, right? Keep working hard. Every day I think you keep working hard. I take that to working with customers and solving customer problems. And sometimes you don't get the result you want, but we will keep working hard, right? That is our guarantee to our customers, right? That I take from the personal side.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the peopleHum interview series. peopleHum is an end-to-end, one-view integrated human capital management automation platform, the winner of the 2019 Global Cody Award for HCM, that's specifically built for crafted employee experiences and the future of work. We run the peopleHum blog and channel that receives more than 400,000 visitors a year, and we also publish several interviews with well-known names globally every month. So today we have a very special guest with us, and his name is Anup Yanamandra. So Anup is actually a Silicon Valley veteran and a lifelong product manager, an industry who's who for the last 25 years, and a pioneer who has brought human capital management, CRM, and compensation innovations to the market. Before taking the reins over at peopleHum, Anup was the Chief Product Officer at BetterWorks and has spent over a decade at SAP SuccessFactors building HCM platforms. Anup lives in the San Francisco Bay Area and attended Carnegie Mellon University. Anup, it is such an honor to have you. Welcome to the show, and I'm super thrilled to be having this conversation.
Thank you, Aishwarya. I share the same excitement that you have joining this very energetic, passionate team that is wanting to deliver great HR solutions. So very excited to be part of this team.
It's a pleasure, Anup. So, Anup, let's rewind a little bit and go back into the past. Tell us a little bit about your journey so far.
I've been lucky to be part of some great companies. Early part of my career, I worked at Intel, launching some early internet applications. Then I was part of Siebel Systems, launching product configuration solutions, early CRM giant prior to the Salesforce days. After that, I was lucky enough to go to a startup and got acquired into IBM. Big Blue, learned a lot of stuff. What a fascinating company. And then I went to SuccessFactors. Spent about 10 years there. And most recently, I worked as the Chief Product Officer at BetterWorks, a John Doerr and Kleiner Perkins funded startup that brought OKR and continuous performance management solutions. A lot of what I've learned from working with largest of the customers in the world, deploying some of the most amazing solutions, is what I take with me. And that's actually a lot of those experiences, domain knowledge, and making customers happy and successful is what I want to bring to peopleHum. I know the team at peopleHum shares the same passion as I stated earlier. And I plan to bring all of that. And I think it'd be a tremendous ride for all of us together.
I'm sure, Anup, and you've had such an incredible journey. I think, two things that I also want to pick from there and understand is that you do talk a lot about, rituals that define a company culture. You've been at SuccessFactors, you've been with a great team. So can you also help our viewers understand a little bit more about which type of rituals and how does one set them up, to make a great high performing team?
Yeah, if you think about, rituals are what unite and bring a team together to achieve this common purpose that a company has, right? And I say the rituals are different at different levels. If you think of a company, I think, you want to think about recognizing hard work, right? You want to celebrate successes. You want to celebrate anniversaries and birthdays, and you want to make everybody feel like they're part of the company. And if you think about, just going past the overall at a company level, at an individual level, what you do to what you do at a company level, it's important to have monthly all hands meetings. It's important for managers to have staff meetings every week. It's important for managers to recognize good work and have one-on-ones, course correct, and help actually set employees prioritize clear goals and set up good goals that they can prioritize and execute on. And if you think about individuals, some of the habits that I think about that are very valuable that actually help employees grow and be successful in their careers, or again thinking about what is the company's purpose and what can I do to make this company successful, and how can I contribute in a very clear way, and have clear metrics of what you're trying to achieve and measure yourself. So everybody has a role to play. The company overall has a role to play. The leaders have to set the tone. The managers are key cog in this wheel. For companies to be successful, everybody has learned now that it's the managers who play a very big role. So they play a very big role, and employees themselves have a very big role to play, especially in the remote work life that we are in, or even hybrid work environment that we're going to have. Employees themselves have a great responsibility to think about, what am I doing? Am I delivering value for the company? Am I connected to that purpose of the company? And constantly think about connecting with their peers and company.
Yeah, absolutely, Anup. I think, what you said makes so much sense right now, especially because of the whole pandemic situation. And I feel like, it's your organization is a living, breathing ecosystem. It's not just machines, or it's not just bean bags and, having all the fancy infrastructure, but it's actually a breathing, living ecosystem that you really have to manage by culture, and people are the ones who actually define it. And so how has your experience been, even on the customer side of the world, right? I'm sure you must have had some tough customers to handle. So what do you think is makes a beautiful customer experience?
Everybody says customer first and customer must win, but what does that mean? For me, it just means a few things. First of all, we have to deliver customer value, right? If a customer is in a tough spot, we drop everything. We don't think of our revenue. We don't think of how much time we've put in, because customers are trusting us. When they pick our solution, they're trusting in us. They want us to be helping them be successful and actually see their users of the product successful, right? So that's what it means to me, right? For me, the core philosophy is making the end users, the employees, and these millions of users who use the HR systems happy and successful. That's the most important thing to me. Now, there is a product aspect of it. Majority of my career has been in product management roles. I'm a big believer in co-innovation,
Yeah.
right? If you try to build solutions just because they're cool ideas or cool technologies, you end up going in the wrong place. But when you work with customers, they lead you in the right direction. They point you to the problems they have. They point you to the problems that repeatable companies. Now, as a company and as a product leader, my job was to think about, how do I take this problem and generalize it and solve this for millions and millions of people? That's what I've been able to do over the last 15 years in the HR space. I've been able to look at every problem and say, how do we solve this systematically? What persona, what problem, why, how often do they use it? All of these things are the things that one has to think about. So I think customer first in many ways. When it comes to solving problems, when it comes to building products, when you think about longer term success, for all of these things, customer is number one priority in my mind.
Absolutely agree, Anup. I think customer centricity is so vital right now. And I feel like a lot of organizations, a lot of people themselves have realized that experience is what, matters a lot, because everything else might be secondary. But now a lot of people are just looking at what's the experience they're getting out of, going through all this pain to look at just kind of boil down to one solution, the ultimate decision. And I feel like that's something we can learn from you and evolve better. But in terms of also, employee experience, I wanted to know, how do you really define it? And if you could also tell us some kind of, common divergent aspects across, you have the emerging markets, you also got some advanced markets around the world. So how do you kind of put it all together?
For me, I think, for largest of the companies, what happens is HR gets a very a suite that's got 20, 30 modules to it, right? And they put together a very complex process around hire to retire. There may be 20 to 30 different processes there. And what gets lost in that, you purchase this system for a few $1 million, you implement it over 2 years for another tens of millions of dollars. But what comes out at the end of it is a system that employees look at and say, look, this is providing me no value. I have to use this, once or twice in a year. And they go through this complex process that's been set up, and they do it begrudgingly. And you need to send, webinars and PDFs and all kinds of in-person trainings to do that, right? But if you look at where the world is starting to move from an experience perspective, is the solutions and processes have become simpler, right? They have to be simple enough, bite-sized and continuous, and in a way that HR does not have to drive these processes and develop reports and distribute them and drive leaders to complete this. It has to be much more organic, where employees and managers and leaders are taking control and saying, I'm seeing value in doing this, right? Versus, this becomes a process for the sake of completing a process. So let's look at some of those moments that matter for employees. When you just join a company, you're on board, getting onboarded. Even before joining a company, you're thinking about recruiting, right? What is the experience I have with this company? What is your onboarding experience? Are you getting a chance to know the company before you get there? And then, for you, all the paperwork that you have to complete, are you able to do that? Once you're in there, are you getting clear guidance? Are you getting, what is the purpose of this company? What are they really doing? And then able to set that clear goals, have these meetings with manager, so you're able to complete your tasks. And then think about, actually, once you get in there, for me, experience is all about, it's not a process that I have to do, right? When I think of experience, look, I have to take a leave, right? It should be super simple for me to be able to say, hey, how much leave do I have left, right? I mean, that's where I love, conversational UI that has come. Like, think about fear, right? Can help with all these types of things. I want to take a leave. Oh, great. Here is the leave you have left. Go for it, apply right there, right? And you have, let's say, a life event. You're either married, you have kids, all of that. How do I navigate through all of that process? Can I find the right documents, right? Can I file the right paperwork, right? Am I getting paid on time? I mean, these are all things that are employee experience, right? I shouldn't have to go through a process if I need to get something done, right? I should be able to just do it. So to me, that's experience in my mind. And I feel like, we're delivering a part of that, right? With FIA, with our simple UI, and also all of the capabilities that we put in place for employees to get their work done in a very simplistic manner. System should not come in the way, right?
Absolutely. I think, if that was really insightful. What you're saying is that that's extremely important, even to look at minute little steps and really find that aha moment, during that end user experience, which is the employee
Absolutely.
experience. That's great. So I know, Anup, that we none of us have a crystal ball, but if you could give your 2 cents on where do you see as the most disruption coming in the HR tech platform, which is a huge space in the future?
I just think HR suites have gotten costlier, more complex, and the value out of them has not been coming in time for HR teams, right? I think there is a need for next generation HR suites that are built on microservices, big data technologies, that can tap into these intelligence that's available, that can deliver actually a combination of process, experience, and intelligence, right? We're right there. I think, we're one of them. That's what I'm excited about, being part of this journey here at People Harm. But I know there are others trying to do the same thing. And I do think, the legacy vendors, with all the complexity that's in there, are slowly going to give way to this new, lightweight, simpler, experiential, and intelligent solutions. That's one. The second piece I think I would also highlight is, I think more consumer-like buying is going to come to HR, right? People will want to, you know, get an access to the solution when they want it via free trial. They want to get one module. They just want an easy way to purchase solutions, right? And I think, the last one that I will touch on is, I think employee wellness is starting to be taken very, very seriously, right? I think it's not just about performance and results and compensation. I think it's more about purpose, wellness. Am I holistically doing well or not, right? Managing stress, managing, for those of us with kids, their wellness, right? How are they doing? And I think, some of what we have learned in the last 1 year about the stress commutes can add, right? And just being much more flexible to employees' personal situations, and being aware and understanding that a remote workforce can still be productive and be an integral part of the workforce. I think we are yet to know completely what that means, but I think that will tremendously impact, I think, HR systems, right? I think we're going to go away from this process mindset to experience and wellness and things that matter most to the employees. I think, yeah, those are some things I could see.
Absolutely. I think that makes so much sense. Things just that matter right now to the employees is probably a little bit different from the past, and it's always constantly evolving. And that would be a beautiful journey to unravel with you too, Anup. So, what do you think? Let's shift gears a little bit. We've talked about the past, about the future, and now you're stepping into a new role. So, what do you think, platforms like us, like People Hum, offer as differentiators as compared to what you've seen in the past? And the HR, tech space very well. So, what do you think it has to offer as differentiators?
Yeah, I think, for me, I touched on the problems a little bit, right? I think cloud technologies have evolved now to a stage where you can deliver a great amount of value in a more cost effective way, and at the same time you get the same value much more quickly, right? That to me is one of the things I think People Hum brings to the table, right? We're building an integrated suite. Look, if you're a medium sized or small sized business, doesn't mean that your HR needs are not the same as the largest organizations, right? So I think our focus of wanting to service any size organization through lightweight processes, and but more comprehensive, that are intelligent, right? And think about, put employees in employee first mentality. I think that's I think what People Harm brings to the table. And I also like, some of the things that we've done with FIA. I touched on it. To me, that has a lot of opportunity. If you think about the rituals and good habits that we touched on, FIA is a very important part of that, right? Where you're using the assistant to actually make sure you set your personal preferences of how you want to use the system and interact through FIA, as opposed to having to look through all of the different modules or solutions that you have to look through. I think that's a big differentiator. And last but not least, our people, right? We have the most energetic and smart and hardworking people. And from my past, what I've seen, those are the teams that are successful, right? That actually hang out together, have that common purpose, have the smarts and the passion to solve that problem. So I think, to me, that's probably what is going to differentiate us as well.
That's awesome. I think, we're super excited. Just, wrapping it up a little bit, talking about, your personal values, your philosophies, anything that's a belief for you that keeps you going in life, anything you'd like to share?
Look, there is this saying, you're probably very familiar with it, is it's like, you do all the work, don't worry about the results, right? Keep working hard. Every day, I think you keep working hard. I take that to, working with customers and solving customer problems. And sometimes you don't get the result you want, but we will keep working hard, right? That is our guarantee to our customers, right? That I take from the personal side. On the people side, I've shared this with you before. It's this great quote from Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs, which is, hire the smartest of the people. Don't tell them what to do, because they're smart. Listen to them and build great things, right? I always trust in the team members, and we're going to do that when we hire, and when we collectively work together. So those are two. And last, I will also leave with, again, for our customers, our commitment is we're going to work really hard to make them happy, their users happy, and we earn their trust.
I think that was really, really awesome, Anup. I had like a really insightful, exciting conversation. So thank you so much for that, and really super thrilled and excited to be working with you. Can't wait.
I share the same enthusiasm, Aishwarya. I've gotten to know you over the past few weeks. It has been amazing, and I think this is going to be a fantastic ride for all of us together. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, Anup. Thank you so much.